You want a smooth wiggle, just not too much. Okay, maybe turn the amount down now, or up, whatever, you know, we want a nice soft, let's see the difference. A little bit, maybe a little bit, go to 6 on that. We just want to kind of give it a wavy look to it. Okay, that's good. Okay, so there we go. Let's add more echo to it. Let's go crazy on it. For echoes, I don't like to add more than 30 for an echo, though. Turn the decay down just a little bit. I like to just turn the decay down just to feather it out a little bit towards the end. See, now we got our run trail behind us. Like I said, your bottom area is going to be cropped out. I mean, what we could do now that we have the effects there, we can even go to our footage layer that we had the mask on, and we can go ahead and try adjusting those to see what it does with our effects. So let's go to select all those masks, 1 through 6 again. Now let's play with our mask expansion and the feather just to see what happens to the effect. Maybe a little slow because we have the effect on there, but you know, at least we can see what's going to happen with it. What we might want to do is, let's go ahead and turn the echo down to just turn all the effects off. We'll just turn like the echo down to something small, turn the turbulence off, leave the fast blur on because that affects it, and leave 5, and just keep the echo down, turn turbulence off just to kind of speed it up. Now we got to go ahead and hit those masks again, open them, select them all, shift, good. Alright, so we're going to play with the feather a little bit and just go real slow on it just to see what happens, because you may get a cool effect by blurring the mass out a little bit. It may actually, you know, it'll blend it in with your the body there. Mass expansion. Like that. Feather it. Like that. Let's see how that looks. So that's too glowy. I don't want like the glow there, so bring that down. Mass expansion again. I think we had it good right where it was. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Okay. Now let's turn our echoes back up to 30. Turn turbulent displace back on so we get the full effect of it. Good. Now what also you can do is, just one more thing, is take your auto trace layer that you're using to kind of hide the front of the effect layer. Take that and try adding a blur to it. What I usually like to do is go to Mate, Effect Matte, Simple Choker first, and add a blur, fast blur to it. Turn Repeat Edges Pixels, click on that now. Just go ahead and like slowly bring in your mask. Choke Mate, just bring it down over the body a little bit. And then use the fast blur to kind of blur it back out. See, this way you can kind of make it look like it's coming over the body a little bit. See, we turn the effect off. You can kind of see it's a real sharp edge there. So if we turn it back on, kind of glows up the the subject, so like it's coming over us. So let me go ahead and one other thing that you might want to do is you can add a glow to your effect layer. So go back to the one with the echo on it. Go to Effect, Stylize, Glow, and you know, just play with your glow a little bit. You know, I just like to add the glow to it, just until you get something cool. that, you know, you can add the glow, or, you know, just leave it the way, just leave it as add, and it, you know, it already brings a glow in anyway. See, and it gives that nice bubbly look around you. Now this is without displacement. Remember, you know, you get a better look even with displacement. Alright, I was trying to rush through this tutorial. I had to stop for a second. I was trying to rush through it, trying to beat the 10-minute time, but I'm already at 24 minutes. Anyways, so that kind of screwed that up. Okay, so, you know, I'm just doing these. Normally I spend a long time trying to get cool looks to this. So I'm showing you basically a lot of the stuff that I do. Maybe you can use some of the ideas for your run trail. Okay, another thing you can do on the effect is even take the glow. You can do a blur, directional blur on it. And what you do is you blur it first, you know, maybe just up to where you actually notice something, and then change the angle of it, just so it kind of, you know, it has to be the proper angle to make this work. But it's not going to work on everything. You want it to kind of be the angle that's going to make it look like you bring the trail together. All those little edges, see? You kind of it has to be, there we go. Okay, kind of make it look like it wraps around. Let's turn the glow off, might be able to see it. Turbulence, displace, leave on, fast blur. No, that's all fine. And that kind of just blends them together. So even for close-ups and stuff like that, I noticed directional blur works really good when it comes to close-ups. But, you know, you may not like that blurred out, that look. See, we're kind of just blurring them in together. This seems to work really good. You may not notice it here, but when you add the displacement in the end, it seems to work. It gives it a more gushier look. You know, that gushy fluid look, I guess you'd want to call it. Okay, so directional blur is one thing I add to my stuff. You know, it's going to depend on the footage or the movement of the character. So let's turn my glow back on, turn directional. For this footage, I don't really like the directional blur. I like the turbulence, displace, just to give it that wiggly look. Fine edges, yeah, I like the fine edges. You don't have to turn the fine edges on if you like it. I like it because it gives the outline look. Just play with everything. I usually just keep playing. You know, I noticed there's never one setting for every footage. Every footage is gonna look cooler. You just gotta play with everything to make it look good for that particular footage. You can change add, blend of it, maybe lighten, see how that looks. Overlay possibly, that's usually too dark. Soft light, I mean, just those certain ones that add to it. You can just play with them and see which one looks best for the footage. It's going to depend on the background. You know, I have a really bright sky back there, so it's all going to really depend. You can see my hand colors picked up down here, but once it hits the brighter sky, it doesn't get picked up. So you can see that the glow picks up the color. Okay, so that's that. That's one thing I usually do. Now, for your main, what you got to do is, once you get all your effects right, you have to select the affected footage and pre-comp that. You only have to select this because when you pre-comp it, it's actually going to bring over, it's going to make a duplicate of your auto-traced one and bring it into its own comp. So just select the one layer that has the effect on it, click layer, go to pre-comp, move all attributes. Okay, now you basically have this other auto-trace thing here just in case you need it for something. Okay, once you do that, select the layer to add again. Okay. Now, on the footage, on the regular footage, so that's basically all we got left. This black solid, which is nothing. That was just our, you know, test. The auto trace layer is just our auto trace, you know, in case we need it for something. Okay, now what we want to do is on the main footage, add an effect to it. Go to distort, display.